Hi there everybody, we've just had our midweek service this week and we had a great little story from my friend John here. So I've asked John to just share his story so that everybody can hear it because it's a great story that we wanted to give thanks for. John.
The story starts when my wife died in August of last year now, where I had the terrific shock of my wife going. At that time, the government helped me to get over it because they sent me hundreds of forms to sign, and that kept me busy. I thought I was doing well. I went 2 months being busy, trying to keep going, and I had no fear of any feeling of being really poorly or anything. On the Monday after the first 2 months, something came to me. I don't know what happened, but I went into deep depression. I didn't know who to talk to, no relatives. So my mind then went back to the church for David. I rang David, and David, no hesitation, came over to see me and spent an hour with me, and we discussed it. He let me do a lot of the talking, and then he did a prayer for me, which meant a lot. And after that, and I held a little wooden cross that David had given me in my hand, and that I do every night now. I speak to my wife, Betty, with her photograph and the little wooden cross with us. I talk to her. I then say a prayer to God. And that night, I had not slept in the bedroom since the death. But that night, for some reason, I didn't think about it. I went in and got the bed ready. I went in there and I slept the night. And it all came from the fact of what David had said to me and how close we was, and how Jesus itself gave me the warmth and the courage to do it. I also joined David's club on a Friday.
David Ritchie's, the other David.
Yeah.
The other David, isn't it? Yeah.
David Ritchie,
the life group.
The life group, and it was fine. It was lovely. It was things that I'd left the church. I'd now come back into it, and it's a wonderful place. And the feeling I had when I go to these meetings, I look forward to them. It's friendly, and we discuss the Bible, and everything's changed since David, our vicar, came, and everything's changed since that day. I look forward to the bereavement club. I look forward to coming to church, and for some reason at home, I've got an inner strength, and I'm sure Jesus is with me all the while. And I'm very, very happy now that I've come back into the church with David.
That's brilliant. No, that's great. And you connected with the Bereavement Cafe first of all. So how did you find out about the Bereavement Cafe?
That was a good story. It was it was in Morrison's.
Okay, tell us that story.
Right.
Because that was before connecting with us here, wasn't it?
That's right.
So that was your first step.
My first step to get connected with the church was a nice story. I was in Morrison's doing some shopping, and I'd gone to the florist part that I had to order my wife's wreath to go onto the coffin. And I was discussing this with the lady in Morrison's when, after I'd left, another lady came up to her and said, "Has that gentleman just lost his wife?" I could hear it. And she told her yes. She came over to me and introduced herself, gave me a nice hug and a kiss, and said, "Why don't you come to the bereavement club that we hold every Monday at the Railway Inn?" And I thought about it, and I said to her, "Yes, I will." And she said, "I'll see you there then." And on that Monday I went. And it was like going into a room full of relatives. Everyone was completely happy and encouraged me to come and sit over here, sit there. And everyone that comes in, any new one that comes in, I've noticed it happens to them as well. And I've got a family again now, and I look forward to that Monday with all my heart. And it is nice, it's lovely. And that's how I got introduced to this church, because the one lady there, Jean, said to me, if you'd like to come to the church, I'll bring you. And I said, well, I welcome that. And she brought me to the church, and she's brought me ever since. And again, I'm outside waiting for her to come because I'm so happy to go to the church. And life's been very good since. And it all stems from when David did that prayer to me. I felt something inside change, and I've not had the real bad depression. I came out of it, and now, happily, I have little bits of it, but nothing so bad as I did that week.
That is just brilliant. Thank you, John, so much
You're
for that.
welcome.
And it's just such a lovely example of how our different ministries connect up.
Yeah.
So John is now a regular member of our midweek service and a member of David and Liz's life group on a Friday.
Yeah.
And it's just brilliant to hear
Yeah.
your story. So do look out for John. And thank you, John, for sharing that with us.
You're welcome. You're welcome.